The Q&A recording for the Tsugua Diaries. My name is Andrea Picard and I'm a programmer at Tiff, and I'm very pleased to have the film included in this year's edition. I am joined by the two directors, Maureen Fazendeiro and Miguel Gomes. Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us. I know it's an unusual format. We're used to doing this in person, but I was really happy to see you in Cannes. That was really special. First, before we begin, I want to thank you for making the film. I think, as I mentioned, it's a film that brings a lot of joy. And I was really moved when I saw it, slightly melancholic feeling also, because it reminded me of, you know, the alienation of the last year and a half, and this sense of community that was woefully missing. And then you managed to create something so beautiful that was about community and love, and also getting through a moment of uncertainty. So I want to just start at the beginning, not the beginning of the film, which of course would be the ending, but the idea and when you decided to make the film, because presumably, like many filmmakers and artists, you had projects that were stalled. And so you used the circumstances to make something really magical. Either one of you.
Yes, as you say, the film was a reaction to what we experienced during the first lockdown. After the first month of being locked in our house, when we got out for the first time, we went to meet Chris Al-Fayed, the actress of the film. And on that night, we talked with her and we said, we have to make something together. We don't know what will be the story of this film, but we have to make something together to, in a way, go out of what of this experience. And so this was in May, and we decided that in summer we had to lock ourselves again in a house with a small crew and try to make something out of it.
Yeah, and this something was the film. And like you said, it was like we tried to make up with like an alternative lockdown thing, but I think that this melancholical that you also noticed in the film, it's also because you have the community and the joy of being together. So like a lockdown with all the things that we were lacking during the real one. That means be with people. But there's also something that maybe it's connected with this melancholical feeling too. It's also about solitude, about loneliness. So you have both. You have people being together, which I think for me it wins to the loneliness part of the film, which is mixed. So it's not real apart, but it comes together. And but we tried to make a film about what we were living, this experience that we all shared in different ways, but also something that would be like almost work like an antidote to this, to what we felt at that moment.
Yeah, I think I had said that too. Maybe in my note, I wrote it was like an antidote to lockdown blues. You know, there was a lot of loneliness and depression, and yet the film is just infused with joy. And I think in addition to it being a film, because it's a work of cinema, and we have seen a lot of pandemic films and a lot of, you know, quarantine films where people were making films alone, also on their phones, shooting outside the window. And this is kind of the opposite of that. It's shot on film. There's this real joy of filming bodies, of fruit, of objects. It sort of reaffirms all the beauty in life. So I wonder if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, this comes with all films. I think that the job of a director is to try to have some pleasure capturing the grace of things, of people, of objects, of nature of animals, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. The film was also reaction to these films. There must be some good ones, made with the phone. But this most of them were pretty boring for me. And so, just going with your cell phone next to the window, I don't know. With me, after 1 hour, I would like to jump from the window, and this would be the end of the film, and maybe the end of me. So, yeah, it was really the desire to be with other people that started the whole thing. There was no, like Maureen said, there was no idea for film. It was, the full in this film was this desire to be with other people, and then the film started to be, the subject of the film started to be about that. And this was not something that we thought about in the beginning. It just went that way.
Okay, but let's talk about your central committee for a moment. Because I know you've referred to your central committee before. In the film, you also have Mariana Ricardo, who has been a co-screenwriter. So at what point was there any writing? There's this great moment in the film where you reveal your whiteboard with a bit of chronology. So can you talk about how much of a structure you had going in, and when did you know you would be employing this reverse chronology?
When we entered the house, we already knew we will shoot in chronological order, and then we will edit in the reverse. This was maybe the only idea we had, and also knew we will film a construction, but we didn't know what kind of construction. And then the first week, we spent the first week in the house with Mariana Ricardo and the assistant director. And we spent this week to explore the house, to maybe find some ideas from the space, and also to work on the structure and on the movement of the film. We had this whiteboard that you see in the film, and this was our script. We had we wrote ideas, and then we had column to integrate the ideas on the movement of the film, and we were always working from one side and the other side. So the film going in chronological time and in reverse. Yes, that movement we worked it from the beginning, and then every day during the shooting. Then the second week the actors came and we worked with them on improvisation, and we wrote some scenes based on the improvisation. And then when the technical crew arrived, every day we reinvented our movement with what will happen during the shooting.
Yeah, because in fact, I think it's two films in one. It's always better to have more than one film. If we can make two at one time, but it's two, it's better than just to do one film with one film. It's better to have one film with two films or three, but that's too complicated. And so I think we have two films at least. Yeah, you cannot trick, the brain, because we are all, our life is to live the time the way we live it. I mean, forward. And so even if we know we have rationally that the movie is moving backwards, you have a sensation that something is progressing in the film. And this is because of the brain of the viewer. Good brain, bad brain, doesn't matter. All brains work this way. But we gave a little bit help to this sensation that even if we know that the time is going backwards, it appears to be also progressing in the way we are experiencing it. And so we took care of the film going backwards and moving forward.
But I also felt that that was very kind of indicative of how some people were experiencing time during lockdown. Like time was so elastic, right? Every day felt the same, but then sometimes it was super long, and just this process of uncertainty. And I think the film really captures that in a way, because as you say, this backwards, forwards movement, and our brain, and also when we watch films, we have narrative expectations, but you were usurping that at every step of the way. And then you feel this insertion of life. And I think it's kind of lovely that we can hear your baby right now, because Maureen was pregnant during the film. So we have this like meta sense of making a film, but then where life is sort of, oh, sorry, and now my phone's ringing, which I forgot to turn that off, is sort of informing some of these decisions also. But I wanted to talk about the house for a moment. It's such a peculiar house in a way. It feels like a big farmhouse with all these coops and cages, which also very similar to how people experience confinement, where a house is a shelter, but then it also became a trap in a way. And then there's these big long spaces, you know, where you can skateboard through the house, or it's perfect for performance. So can you tell us more about the house?
The house was from the family of one of the producers. It was the only thing we asked. We
always choose producers with big families.
we had smart. We asked the producer a house that could be at the same time the hotel for the team and the studio for the film. Because the only way of making the film would be to lock ourselves in a house. And so it was not so easy to find a house for, we were 16 people. And so at one point, one of the producers, Filipe Reis, said, well, my uncle has this house near Lisboa in Sintra. I don't think you will like it because it's a very strange house. It's a farm. But if you want, you can go see it. And we went to see it, and it's true, it was strange because it used to be a place for raising chicken. And so half of the house was full with cages, which was amazing because we were making a film being locked somewhere. And also, for example, that's how the idea of building a butterfly house came. I think we were in the house. We knew we wanted to shoot the actors building something, and being surrounded by cages, we were looking for something that will integrate this atmosphere of the house, and that's how the butterfly house came. So yeah, this house was very strange because it was a family house, and it has things, clothes, and a lot of things from different families. So it was, we would have material for the actors to dress or to play with the things. So we took things from the house to build the film.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say nothing about the house. I would like to comment on what you were saying. You were talking about these issues about a film about cinema, you know, this meta cinema, but also about life, you know, about the and we understand. I think we can say it's a film also about cinema, of course, but for us the film has more to do with life than with cinema, because you know the film appears to be like revealing his own process of making the film, but that's really the story of the film. I mean, we made the film. There's something that it's close, but many scenes that were not like this. So it's not a film about making of the film. That's the story of the film. The film is really, I think, the real subject is what you told. That the film goes more and more into this experience of life, getting rid of many things that normally we see in cinema, and get more close to, I mean, the actress helping the cook to cut the potatoes. It's a little bit Lumiere, yeah. It's like in the beginning of cinema, just showing, people feeding breasting the baby, or putting water on the flowers, things like this, and the film starts to, like in a cocoon, like in a very closed atmosphere. You see the characters, you don't understand what they are doing, is their connection, what is happening there, and then progressively you start to open the film. But this opening is not to reveal it's not for the film to reveal itself as the process of making it, but more to show the relation between people, the people that are there making a film. Maybe if we were farmers, and this would be like about a community of farmers, or if we were, in a circus, in a way we are, it would be a film about the relation between the clown and the acrobats, and so it's about people being together, which was something that we lacked during the lockdown.
And precisely, I think it becomes this important portrait of our time. For me, it was a real affirmation of life, of what it means to be with people, to eat with people, to drink with people, to talk with people. And that's what I think we miss the most. Online is fine in terms of connection, but it can't replicate, sitting down and having a meal with someone. And so those were the moments that were both melancholic but super beautiful for me. We have to wrap up really soon, but I really want to talk about the music, because I love this Northern Soul song. Who chose it and why?
It's a music I like for a long time, and when we talk about shooting a party, I remember that music, and Miguel and Mariana accepted it.
We liked it.
Yeah, they liked it, and the crew liked it too, so it was a very simple choice.
Love the dancing. Needed the dancing. Any final words? Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but
yeah, Andrea, I think that the Toronto Film Festival should make a statue of you, because it's not only because you choose our films normally, but also that reveals a very nice taste and a way of thinking cinema that
this will be edited, by the way.
We and many people we know are very close to this idea of cinema, which is something that we, nowadays with all the crisis of the pandemic, and the industry is a little bit like a chicken with no head, running like this and trying to understand what to do, how in trouble we are. And so Toronto is a very big festival with the industry functioning and the market and trying to make business. And I think it's lovely that there is Andrea Picard in Toronto.
That's very kind, Miguel.
And it's not only me. I think Maureen already, but there are much more people that think this.
It's a joy for me to show movies like yours. It's what keeps me going in life. And I think that's why I think I responded so much to the idea of community, because there are a great number of us who work around the world to show these kinds of films. So thank you for making it.
Thank you for enlarging our community. We are very glad, well, a little bit sad not to be able to be there, but anyway, we'll do the fact that you're you want to show the film there can enlarge this community and these things that we love to share.
It's an honor for us. Thank you so much. Enjoy your vacation and hope to see you in the near future. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.